For over a century, the sky belonged to a very exclusive club. If you wanted to build a commercial aircraft, you had to play by the rules set by Western aerospace giants. Boeing, Airbus, Sikorsky. They controlled the patents, they controlled the supply chains, they controlled the geometry of the sky. But almost overnight, that 100-year monopoly has been completely shattered. While Silicon Valley billionaires spent the last decade hyping up flying cars as luxury toys for the ultra-rich, China quietly did something that sent an absolute shockwave through the halls of the US government. They didn't just build a flying car, they certified it, they mass-produced it, and they are unleashing it into the public transportation grid. To understand why this is a catastrophic wake-up call for the traditional aviation industry, you first have to understand the fundamental lie we've been told about modern traffic. We are trapped in a two-dimensional prison. As our megacities explode in population, we keep trying to solve traffic by digging deeper tunnels or stacking wider highways. But ground space is a finite physical asset. We have literally run out of geometry. The obvious answer has always been to go up, to use the third dimension. So, why haven't we? The United States tried to solve this 50 years ago with the helicopter. But the helicopter is fundamentally an engineering nightmare. It is incredibly loud, it vibrates violently, and most importantly, it relies on thousands of moving mechanical parts, complex gearboxes, swash plates, and tail rotors. If just one of those microscopic metal components snaps in midair, the entire machine falls out of the sky. Because of this massive mechanical risk, maintaining a helicopter costs thousands of dollars per flight hour. It was never going to be public transit. It was doomed to remain a noisy, dangerous toy for billionaires. But the Chinese engineers looking at this problem completely threw away the helicopter blueprint. They realized that the solution to flying cars wasn't aviation, it was consumer electronics. Enter the eVTOL, the electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicle. And the undisputed king of this new era is the Ehang EH216-S, the first passenger-carrying flying vehicle in human history to receive a fully legal commercial type certificate. When you look at this machine, you need to stop thinking of it as an airplane. Think of it as a giant, highly intelligent iPhone with rotors. It doesn't have a massive, roaring, gas-guzzling turbine engine. Instead, it uses distributed electric propulsion. It features 16 independent electric motors, driving 16 separate carbon fiber propellers. Listen to the engineering logic here. It is brilliant. In a traditional helicopter, if the engine dies, you die. But in this Chinese eVTOL, the propulsion is completely decentralized. If a bird strikes one rotor, the system doesn't care. If two motors violently short-circuit, the onboard AI instantly detects the anomaly and redistributes power to the remaining 14 motors in a fraction of a millisecond. The passenger inside wouldn't even spill their coffee. There are no complex gearboxes, no oil leaks, no mechanical linkages to snap. It has reduced the thousands of failure points of traditional aviation down to basically zero. But here is the part that truly terrified Western competitors. There is no cockpit. There is no steering wheel. There is no pilot. Aviation data proves that over 80% of all fatal plane crashes are caused by human error. A tired pilot, a misread instrument, panic. China's approach was completely ruthless. Eliminate the human entirely. The vehicle is 100% autonomous. It flies using an aggressively dense network of LiDAR, radar, and high-definition cameras, communicating in real time with a centralized 5G command center. It calculates wind shear, route optimization, and collision avoidance thousands of times per second. You simply step inside, tap your destination on a touchscreen, and the AI handles the rest. But building a cool prototype is easy. So, why is the US aerospace industry panicking? Because of the battery supply chain. For decades, the United States dominated the internal combustion engine. But in the electric era, China holds a brutal, undeniable monopoly. Flying a car requires an absurd amount of energy. You aren't just driving forward, you are fighting the pure force of gravity to lift thousands of pounds of dead weight straight up into the air. You need batteries with an extreme energy density. Batteries that can discharge massive amounts of power without instantly catching fire. Because China already controls over 70% of the global EV battery supply chain, their flying car companies have direct access to the most advanced high-density solid-state and lithium-silicon batteries on the planet. They have scaled the manufacturing so aggressively that the cost of building one of these flying cars is a fraction of what it costs in the West. While American companies like Joby and Archer are burning through billions of venture capital dollars, desperately fighting red tape and trying to build out their factories, China has already flipped the switch. The commercial logic here is a total paradigm shift. This isn't designed to be parked in your garage. This is designed to be an aerial Uber. Imagine living in the Greater Bay Area of China, a massive cluster of mega cities. Right now, to get from the center of Shenzhen to the financial district of Zhuhai, you have to drive for over 2 hours, crawling through mind-numbing bridge traffic. With this newly launched low-altitude network, that same trip takes 20 minutes. And because there is no pilot salary to pay, and the electricity costs pennies compared to aviation fuel, a ticket for this flying taxi will eventually cost about the same as an ordinary premium Uber ride. By merging the dominance of their EV battery supply chain with extreme autonomous AI, China didn't just win a technology race. They completely redefined the physical geometry of urban commerce. They are unlocking the skies for the working class. For the first time in a century, the future of aviation is no longer being written in Seattle or Toulouse. It is being written in the silent electric skies of Shenzhen. This is the dawn of the three-dimensional city. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the commercial logic shaping our future, make sure to hit that subscribe button.